It's time yet again for another Halloween shopping extravaganza. Today we are at Target. Looking at this display, I'm excited to see 3 large animatronics. I think we're going to take a look at 2 momentarily and then 1 a little bit later. Let's go ahead and press the button on this one.
I am not a jack-o'-lantern. My name is Louis.
I'm very intrigued. Why is his name Louis?
With a crooked smile and a glowing eye, I see all your tricks from way up high.
So he runs $180. That's really not too bad. He's pretty big for that.
My name is Bruce and I'm about to come loose, so maybe come and listen to me. I like to scare, I don't care. I'm a reaper with flair, bringing chills every Halloween. Oh yeah.
So now we have a Bruce too. I don't know what the concept is behind giving them names. I guess that they're supposed to have personalities. Bruce also runs $220, $40 more than Louis. I think he has an extra light, but is that worth an extra $40? I'm not so sure. We've got some skeletons here. So some of these make noise and some of them don't. I love the idea of the disco skeleton, but then they have that green alien skeleton. I don't think we've seen that before, and I really like the idea of that. Then we've got some interesting like pearl colors and pink there. So we're appealing to a wide range of audiences here. And then of course they have different sizes. So we range from the full 5 foot down to these little mini guys. I almost feel like I would have preferred a wider variety of skeletons. So obviously they have these different ones, which are great, but they didn't really have a whole variety of animal skeletons. Normally I get a little disappointed, let's say, because a lot of them are the same. You see them over and over in the stores. But, I was pleasantly surprised at Home Depot, for instance. They had a skeleton dragon this year, which would go perfectly in my dragon display. I was at Home Depot earlier today, and I almost bought it. I picked up the large 8-foot tall dragon that they have as an animatronic this year, and I wanted to fill out my whole display, and I thought maybe the dragon skeleton would work, but I think a skeleton is not going to go with my live dragons, so I let it go. But I did see another effect there. So they had a projection effect. We've seen the fire effects, and if you've watched my channel, I really wanted to incorporate fire this year, and I think I'm going to do it behind my dragons. And I noticed when we did our walkthrough of Home Depot, and I'm sure I showed it in the video, I pressed the button, and I was looking at it again today, and I went and I pressed the button again, and I noticed the lighting effect was different. And I didn't realize it had 15 different lighting effects. So if you're interested in like a really great projection effect, especially if you want that fire, check out Home Depot. I'm probably going to go back. It was a little pricey. I think it was like $35, but I really loved all the different lighting effects. So if you wanted it to be fire, there's a great fire effect. If you wanted kind of like that fire and ice, there was that. Or if you wanted like a green ethereal effect, lots of different lighting options. Speaking of lights, we may have seen that sort of skeleton lamp. I know the at-home store had it. I've seen some DIYs online, but did you just see that skeleton there on the shelf? Had kind of that sort of mossy effect in it too. Throw a little PVC pipe behind it with a lampshade, and there you've got a perfect skeleton lamp, I think. You can even decorate it with some of these ribbons. Lots of little tchotchkes here. Again, a lot of shelf space dedicated to ribbons of different sizes if you want anything from medium to large. They've got a bit of a selection of pumpkins too. I like these are sort of warty pumpkins. Certainly better than just the plain plastic jack-o'-lantern pumpkins we always see. I love these colored tombstones. I am curious to know if they glow in the dark or fluoresce under a black light because I'm going to need that for my display next year. I already am planning my 2026 display. I got great inspiration just this weekend. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I went to Orlando. We did Halloween Horror Nights, saw all the haunted houses, but I went to the SeaWorld Howloscream, and they had some amazing haunted houses. One of which was called Raveyard. It was basically a cemetery turned into a rave. It was fantastic. I'm definitely stealing that idea next year. Target certainly has a lot of these animatronics this year. Lots of little ones to help flesh out your display. Look at this little phone. Definitely getting an 80s vibe off of that. Love this guy.
The arm bone's connected to the chest bone. The chest bone's connected to the neck bone. The neck bone's connected to the... Nothing I get.
I didn't expect that head movement. I love that sort of acid green effect on that cat. I could totally use that in my display as well. At first I thought this was just a light up cauldron, but it's actually a mister. And it's only $40. That would have been great in my display last year. I ended up buying a cauldron from Target last year, and they have a smaller version of it that we're going to see in a moment, but look at this one. That's pretty cool for only $50. That skeleton really needs to be at the front of the store. He is amazing.
I'll be your host, the ring with the most laughs, that is.
I would totally buy that wreath if it were a little bit creepier. Not bad. Okay, now we're coming to these little feet. We've seen these in Target for years and years. What do people use those? What do we do with those? The light-up doorbells really aren't that shocking anymore, but not bad.
I tell you, I'm so unlucky. Even the black cats get scared when I cross their path.
I prefer the bigger version of this guy, but he's not too bad either. That prop might make it into my collection one of these years when I get around to making my movie theater display. I've done my outside sort of drive-in theater a few times. I've always wanted to do an interior theater though. The purple in that was really beautiful, and I love how those lights made it sort of look like it was almost endless. That feels like a Big Lots prop. Pretty sure that spider would jump if the package would let it. Every home display needs a telephone. Let's see who's on the line.
Your mummy is on the other line. I'll connect you. Please hold.
$30 for this little cauldron, half price of the larger one last year. Now our trip through Target is in no particular order, but I think that was most of the things that I could press and have them make noise. So now you're going to have to listen to me talk for another 15-ish minutes. And you know that's not my forte, so while we take a look through the rest of this merchandise, let me just tell you what I've been up to, I guess, recently. I haven't posted much in the last week because we did go down to Florida. We went to the Halloween Horror Nights and had a really good time there. We spent 4 nights in Halloween Horror Nights, the one in Orlando that is, at Universal Studios. Now I'm not going to be doing a video of that one. I will do a video of my trip through the SeaWorld Howloscream because that was my first year going there and I thought it was worth showing. I wasn't honestly too impressed though with Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. It was, in my opinion, a little lackluster. They did a few things I didn't like eliminating a whole scare zone in order to make it club horror or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but it was just like a music area where a DJ was playing. They had some dancers. It wasn't scary at all. I was very disappointed in that. And the scare zones themselves, it didn't feel like they had a whole lot of props in the scare zones, I think, like they've had in the past. The Tribute Store, usually I would do a walkthrough video of the Tribute Store, which is really amazing. They usually do a whole display. It's kind of like a haunted house turned store. But I don't know, because they have construction going on, they didn't have it in the usual place, so they threw it in part of a gift shop that already existed, and it wasn't impressive at all. It didn't really have a story. I was so disappointed in that. The The haunted houses themselves were okay. I didn't think for the most part that many of them were really like scary. A lot of them were more conceptual. One was like a dollhouse of the dead or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was called either. But I mean, it had an interesting concept where you as the person walking through has been shrunken down and you're in this dollhouse where the kid has made these evil doll creations, kind of like Sid from Toy Story.
You know what they say, if you got it, you gotta haunt it.
That witch was really cool. I liked the way its head moved. I tried looking it up on their website to see how much it would cost because I missed that, but I can't find her at all anywhere. But anyway, back to the dolls. I just don't find the dolls scary, no matter how deformed they look. Back to Target here real quick. Notice they have a lot of green witches here. On the other side, they have pink witches. I definitely think they're going for the Wicked sort of tie-in or inspiration, I would say. Very clever on their part. Anyway, back to Universal. So they also had like a house of WWE characters. I think that's very specific audience. I mean, it was kind of a tribute to one of the wrestlers that recently passed away who loved Halloween and did weird characters. I mean, I don't follow it. I don't know. I only learned this because I did the behind the scenes tour and got to look at how the haunted houses were constructed. But I never would have understood the story just walking through it. And it wasn't really that scary either. There was a Five Nights at Freddy's haunted house, though, which everybody seemed to love. The wait times were horrendous for that. We finally, on one of our last days, decided to just brave the line. It was supposed to be like a 2.5 hour wait or something like that. I think we ended up waiting about 45 minutes. So sometimes the lines were wildly inaccurate in terms of wait times, which made it really hard to plan because there were so many people there. It made it really unenjoyable. And that is one reason, again, I really enjoyed my time at Howl-O-Scream. Everything there, like the haunted houses, were all just like walk up and walk in. It felt like a much more personal adventure.
They immediately put me back and told me I failed. I'm so unlucky. Even the black cats get scared when I cross their path.
Howl-O-Scream had some very unique haunted houses. Again, I'm going to do a whole video, but I guess I'll spoil it a little bit. Like they had one haunted house that was like a trailer park theme. So it was how, this sort of stereotype where trailer park people tend to be victims of alien encounters. So that was a mix of aliens and trailer park. That was just so clever. And then they had like a scare zone that was a red light district of vampires. And let me just say, the eye candy there was amazing. It's definitely a lot more adult oriented. I was really kind of shocked that they could get away with what they got away with. I cannot wait to share that video with you. You're going to have to stay tuned. It'll be coming up probably later this week. Back to Universal, though, another thing I was disappointed with. So they have a stage show every year. Lately, it's been these real high-energy dancers, and it has some sort of loose storyline going on. And it's supposed to be a new show this year, but the audio was kind of rehashed and stolen from the previous year's show, which was kind of unique. It was kind of like the Hades Town theme, which is the myth of Orpheus and Eurydice. And I was just so disappointed that they didn't come up with something new and unique. Same with the water show. It was very reminiscent of Ghoulish, which they had a couple of years ago before their fountain broke and they didn't have a show for a couple of years. And I was just thinking, like, why don't they come up with new concepts? They have a whole year to plan these things, and It's Universal, for goodness sake. It is a company full of creative people. They could have come up with something new and original. They had some original haunted houses. A couple of them had some really good effects. Like there was one that was kind of an Wild West old-time theme, and it had a really cool screen where it looked like there was a train going by. I loved that effect. I might have to steal that. The sound effect in that little ghosty is like quintessential 80s, 90s Halloween. So while we were down in Florida, I also went to Epic Universe. If you haven't seen anything about that, it's the newest Universal theme park that just opened, I don't know, within the last year. If you're a Harry Potter fan, they have, of course, a Harry Potter land. There's now one in each of the 3 theme parks. And this one had a Battle of the Ministry ride. We legit waited in that line for almost 3 hours. It was crazy. I'm not sure the ride was worth the wait, but I'm glad I did it. The main reason I wanted to go to Epic, though, is because they have a Dark Universe, which is basically a Halloween-themed land. Not necessarily Halloween, but it's horror-themed, right? The signature ride there was Monsters Unchained, the queue of which is like an attraction upon itself. The theme is that like the great-granddaughter of Frankenstein has come and moved into his old mansion and is trying to get all of these Universal monsters to bend to her will. And I guess the main one is she's trying to fight Dracula, but you see all sorts of monsters in the ride, like the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Swamp Thing. There's the Quasimodo, even the Phantom of the Opera, which I will just point out, I went as the Phantom of the Opera for a few different Halloweens when I was a kid because, well, I was a strange child. Anyway, the Monsters Unchained ride was really amazing. If you get a chance, check it out on YouTube. There are lots of ride-through videos. I did not watch any of them before I went to see it in person. and I was a little disappointed because it is so animatronic heavy, and there were a couple of animatronics that weren't working. They were just standing there sort of static, and I was so disappointed because that's so jarring, I think. And I feel like you're missing out on part of the story. Not to mention, they've only been open less than a year. I feel like nothing should really be broken and not working. But overall, I was just really glad that there was this horror-themed land. There was another roller coaster there. It was based on the Wolfman. I did not get a chance to ride that. Again, the lines tended to be pretty long, even though it wasn't really all that busy there. We did eat in a vampire-themed restaurant. I think it was called a steakhouse, S-T-A-K-E house, which was kind of clever. I don't think they served any sort of steak, though. But anyway, I am back now from my Halloween adventures in Florida. I will probably end up going to the Six Flags here to see Fright Fest and a couple of the bigger haunted attractions here in the Atlanta area. But it is really time to start getting busy on my display. I'm going to be starting to put up a couple of videos on my interior decorating. So we have started decorating a little bit. I've shown some pictures and other videos of the back stairway. That is my Raven theme. I will be doing a video on that soon. I've started on my bathroom, which is Medusa themed, and I'm about to do one of my other stairways. I'm realizing as these words are coming out of my mouth that sounds really weird, but my house does have 3 different staircases. So one of them will be Pennywise and Georgie, and I bought a bunch of stuff to flesh that out, so stay tuned for that. I really should do a haul video soon. I have so much fun stuff. I really can't wait to show you. Before we go, though, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining my Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. Now, even though our store walkthrough of Target has come to a close for 2025, there still are a number of store tours to come, more product reviews, decorating, and so much more. So stay tuned for that. We are getting so close to Halloween, and I can't wait to share my adventures with you. Till then, take care, and happy haunting.